Want to perform better without changing your swing? These 5 biohacks will transform your recovery, focus, and on-course performance. I'm Drew Hopper, Titleist Performance Institute certified expert, ICF board certified performance coach, and published athletic development researcher. These are the 5 holistic biohacks I use with elite golfers to maximize performance in every dimension. Here's the reality. Every golfer has a performance range. On your best days, you're near your ceiling, sharp, focused, powerful, composed. On your worst, you're closer to the floor, sluggish, reactive, inconsistent. Which end are you bringing to the course? You put in the hours, but if you're not backing up your work with recovery, sleep, hydration, and a mental protocol, you're sabotaging your own results. These 5 biohacks are non-negotiable. They're how you capitalize on your effort and show up at your best. Quick reminder, if you're getting value from these videos, hit the like and subscribe button and share with a golfer who needs it. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Hopstar Organic Coffee, clean roasted, organic, and performance focused. Use code PERFORMANCE10 for 10% off at hopstarcoffee.com. All right, let's talk about Biohack 1, sleep optimization. Sleep is when your body recovers, adapts, and locks in motor learning. We're going to go through a few studies. The first one's out of Stanford with their men's basketball team. They took 11 athletes and they baseline their performance over a 282-foot sprint, free throw and three-pointer percentage made, and then they upped their sleep duration to 10-hour threshold, and then remeasured those variables and demonstrated a statistically significant improvement in performance over those 3 variables. So we believe this obviously applies to golf. Golf also being a motor skill driven sport. And so on to the next study. This next one is this is actually a golf specific study. I'm going to put this up on the screen for you, that sleep loss reduces putting performance. And at the end of the day, we see that even one bad night of sleep can drop this critical motor skill by up to 30%. So golf is a game of precision, and so we obviously want our motor skills to be at our ceiling, not midpoint or even near our floor. And so this demonstrates that. And then our last one here is, I'm going to put this up on the screen for you as well. Sleep affects mood. Well-rested golfers play with gratitude and joy. Sleep-deprived golfers get irritable and negative. So this last study talks about physical performance, mental performance, injury risk, and recovery, as well as mental health. And as I just mentioned, they demonstrated different moods, if you will, based on their amount of sleep and the quality of their sleep. And so what can you do, practically speaking, to give yourself the best opportunity to show up at your ceiling relative to sleep? Well, keep a consistent sleep schedule. You want a cool, dark, quiet room. And so if you can wake up, go to bed near the same time, and keep your room dark and quiet. And if you want to go a little bit further and add some supplements, L-theanine, 100 to 200 milligrams before bed would be advised. And then magnesium glycinate, 200 to 400 milligrams. And then another good one is chamomile or valerian tea, 30 to 60 minutes before bed. These are really simple ones. You also want to watch your screen time 2 hours before bed. If you are using a screen, maybe you're a student and you're like, I have to be on my computer to get stuff done. There's obviously some softwares that will reduce blue light, but you can also get some inexpensive blue blocker glasses and put those on, and those will also assist. So what's our bottom line here? Better recovery, sharper focus, more consistency, and a mindset built for success is what comes with optimized sleep. And I should say that these all assume that sleep it accumulates, right? So if you think you can just sleep well the night before, but the 2 nights prior to a tournament or a qualifier or something like this, you had poor sleep, you're still more than likely going to be in a sleep debt. And so you really want to focus on consistent quality sleep, in particular the 3 nights before that qualifier, that tournament, that important event that you have. Biohack 2, hydration. Let's go through a couple of studies to kick this off, this discussion. I'll put these up on the screen. The first one, the conclusion here is that even mild dehydration, so 1 to 2% body weight loss, hurts cognitive function, reaction time, and performance. The next one here, let's see. Dehydration slows response and reduces technical skill. Again, I'll link that study in the description, but also throw it up on the screen for you. So most golfers are slightly dehydrated to chronically dehydrated. And the formula here is drink half your body weight in ounces daily. So if you weigh 180, you would be targeting 90 ounces. And you want to hydrate before, during, and after play. Most importantly, add electrolytes. If you live in Texas, Florida, hotter climates, but even state like Ohio in the summer is brutally hot, brutally humid, you're going to lose a lot of water. And so you need to get ahead of that game and go into the tournament, the qualifier, already hydrated. And then during it, you need to continue that hydration. And a good checkpoint is my urine, clear to pale yellow? This indicates hydration. Once you get beyond that pale yellow, you're definitely dehydrated. And add electrolytes. So you can buy, all sorts of different kind of electrolyte um, mixes and put them in water, but you can also go really budget friendly. You want to take sea salt and add it to a non-corrosive container quite a bit. And then what you'll see is that that sea salt will settle to the bottom, and then on the top you have a electrolyte mix that you can scoop out a little bit and put it into your water. It's super healthy as well as affordable. This is critical. You'll notice that some sports drinks have very low sodium. Some electrolyte mixes, even. I have a friend who I do jujitsu with, and he's very knowledgeable on this stuff, but he kind of got bamboozled in that there was an electrolyte drink that he was consuming that did not have sodium, or it was a very low amount of sodium, and he kept cramping during training and he couldn't figure out why. He switched electrolytes to one that was a higher percentage of sodium, and boom, he's good to go. So other drinks like vitamin water, you'll see and look at the label, low to no sodium. This is not going to work. You need that sodium as part of this formula in order to keep you in, homeostasis, if you will. So, bottom line, why it matters, hydration fuels mental clarity, muscle function, and endurance. This is key for golf. Poor hydration equals poor coordination and slow decisions. So we want better focus, smarter choices, and steady energy for all 18 holes. All right, let's go to Biohack 3, morning sunlight exposure and grounding. Again, go through a few studies here. I'm gonna put these up on the screen as I go through this. We want to get outside within an hour of waking. Even just 5 minutes is enough. You don't have to be out there for 30 minutes. If you can be, that's great, but 5 minutes is enough. You want to be barefoot on the grass, dirt, or sand. Uh, Sunlight, right, specifically, boosts alertness. So I'm saying not necessarily your inside lights, but sunlight boosts alertness. And it sets your circadian rhythm. Again, here's a study that supports that. And then what happens is when you do this, you have a 16-hour rebound effect. So the morning sun suppresses your melatonin and spikes your cortisol, so it makes you alert. And then about 16 hours later, you're going to have a melatonin spike, which makes sleep easier. Again, another study from Huberman that supports that. And then the second part of this is grounding or earthing. And the direct earth contact has been shown to reduce inflammation, improve sleep, and speed recovery. So again, here's a study with that. So elite athletes use morning sun and grounding for recovery. The benefits here are better sleep, more energy, improved mood, and faster recovery. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share this video. It helps more golfers find these performance tools. Much appreciated. Biohack 4, Mental Performance Protocol. We know golf is 90% mental. Arnold Palmer talked about the most important was it 12 inches in golf or 10 inches in golf, something like that between your ears. Your nervous system drives performance. So if you don't have a mental protocol, a stress protocol, tournament confidence protocol, you're leaving wins on the table, period, bottom line. And so where does this start? What's something that's super actionable and super simple? So again, I'm going to reference a study here as I go through this, but we're going to start it with box breathing. And box breathing is really simple. This is what Navy SEALs use. I was in the military as well. This is what we used in the 10th Mountain Division during firefights in Afghanistan and Kandahar to downregulate our nervous system, downregulate our heart rate, which also preserves access to your prefrontal cortex, which helps with decision making and motor skills. So, box breathing, you're going to go in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, and repeat that as many times as you want. While I do it, I like to visualize a box and I'm going that in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4 as I do it. And you can do this anytime during a round before your shot and your pre-shot routine. You can also do it immediately after a shot to keep you down regulated. So this is going to cut performance anxiety by 35%. It also improves composure and cognition. Here's a study link that supports this. And so again, you can practice this, use it daily, use it before critical shots. I would just say make it a habit to use it as part of your pre-shot routine. And why it works, again, keeps your heart rate down, keeps your prefrontal cortex online so you can think clearly and execute under pressure. Another study demonstrates that elite athletes use deep breathing for performance or peak performance, if you will. And so breathing is the foundation of a good mental performance or tournament confidence program. And so for a full mental system, check out my tournament confidence program. It's launching in Q1 of 2026. So in just a few weeks from the time of recording this. Until then, you can go to eliteperformancejuice.com/bravr and grab the free bravr quick reference guide. Okay, and finally, Biohack 5, nutrition, timing, and fueling for performance. Look, golf is a endurance and power sport, kind of unique in that regard. So we need fuel for focus, energy, and explosive swings. So where do we start with this? Protein. This repairs muscle, supports recovery and immune function, and it's key for swing strength and faster recovery. And so you want to eat protein with every meal. Aim for about 0.7 to 1 grams per pound of body weight. Study on the screen that supports that. Next is fat. This would be our main energy source for walking the course. So walking is a slow, steady state activity, and so you're going to dip into your fat for that. Healthy fats are avocado, nuts, olive oil, fatty fish, and grass-fed meats. So this is going to help keep energy stable and hormones balanced. So what are some of your snack options on the course? Beef jerky, nuts, avocado, guac. You can do that pre-round. Probably the guac's a little messy during the round. And then lastly here is complex carbs. And I say complex and stress that. It's needed for explosive swings and ATP replenishment. So what is ATP? It's your quick energy system, right? So if you sprint or you swing hard, you're using your ATP system to do that. Personally, for me, fruit is ideal. The fiber slows absorption plus the digestive method means that it's going to be released slowly into your body. Plus, you're getting the benefit of the vitamins and electrolytes that come with fruit. So we want to avoid simple sugars before and during the round. So sodas and candy, I'm not trying to be a party crasher here, but the reality is those are going to cause some hormonal cascade issues during the round that aren't they aren't in line with optimal performance. So really fruit I believe is your best friend for all the reasons we already talked about. And why does this matter? Proper fueling as a whole idea here. Why does this matter? Proper fueling equals steady energy, explosive power, stable mood, sharp decisions all around. So we want balanced macros which boost our endurance, our strength, and our cognition. Study on the screen that supports that statement. Our bottom line here is eat for performance, right? Especially during those tournament days and those qualifiers. But I would say as a whole, if you can stick to this type of eating, it's going to benefit you as an athlete from a performance and recovery perspective. So prioritize protein, fruit, and healthy fat all around, and I think you'll see a nice bump in your performance day to day as well as during those critical rounds. So stack these 5 biohacks with your training and you'll transform your recovery, focus, and on-course performance. Sleep, hydration, sunlight and grounding, mental performance, and nutrition. These are the foundation of elite golf. Do this consistently, and you'll bring a body and mind that performs well when it counts. For more high performance strategies and my upcoming tournament confidence program, follow for the full series.